Hello, friends. Welcome back to another edition of The Drive, brought to you by Oddschecker. I am Geoff Fienberg, and with me is Andy Lack. Andy, boy, we're both trying to catch a bouquet this morning. You with Keegan, myself with Benny on. We're both bridesmaids. I had Sahith at the first one, so two in a row. You think I'm seeing the board clearly, but I don't feel good about it today. It just felt like a kick below the belt, big time. We're off. We're back stateside, the American Express.
I experienced the gamut of emotions on Sunday as well. I would just say and I'm sure that you were straddling the line between that Cowboys blowout and the golf on Sunday. It was a great day of sports overall, but just from an eye test perspective, Grayson Murray for me was not whatsoever passing the eye test in terms of I just didn't think that he was going to hang around. And so I actually pulled off the very rarely seen hedge on the other guy in the playoff that didn't win. Something I rarely ever do. But I was just like, look, Benny has that dog in him. He's statistics, stones, like I see it for him. I'm going to pull the rare, put some of my Keegan exposure on Benny and let it frickin' ride with this Grayson character who was driving into moving traffic in Bermuda a year ago. Okay.
I was
And so
driving it into palm trees on the
it was
18th hole.
it was the
Oh,
rare, it was the rare half hedge
yeah.
on the one guy who didn't win. So anyway, tough
Later in the
day.
summer, it'll feel like more of a blur. You sort of take the
Yeah.
body blows through golf season, but this early in the season, it's a real body blow. It's a real body blow. But hey, responsibly, we're
We
here
march on.
off the mat. We'll get going at the MX. Historically, it's been dominated a bit by John Rahm, but we've also seen some huge underdogs here. It's a three-course rotation. It can make tracking the event a little annoying. It can make betting the event a little annoying, Andy. I'm one that really, this I could argue is my least favorite. Yeah, like I'll take the Team Zurich over this. I swear to God.
Yeah, these golf courses don't have a lot of character to them. They're pretty generic as far as it gets in terms of setup for tournament play. And you have to deal with the added wrinkle of you're going to this three-course rotation, as you mentioned. Two of the three courses don't have shot tracker, which is just wild to me. They're spending $150,000 to have all the rookies go to Hawaii for some orientation, but you've been going to the same three courses in Palm Springs for a decade, and two of them still don't have a shot tracker. So I agree with you in terms of a bit of the malaise after a fun Hawaii swing, but I think there's some opportunity on the board. I guess we should probably start with the very top. Scheffler 6, Cantlay 10, Xander 11. I've made this case with Xander before, or sorry, I'll start with Scheffler. I've made this case with Scheffler before. I am just going to wait until Torrey Pines Bay Hill Riviera for Scheffler because he is getting priced the same way at those courses that actually accentuate his skill set, the same pricing that he is this week at putting contests that accentuate what he is worst at. So what could probably happen this week with Scheffler, Geoff, is exactly what happened at the Century. He's a walking top 7. But the reality of the situation is that this is a putting contest. And so if he can't get himself to at least a neutral putter, he's going to finish T5 and you're not going to make any money on your outright bet.
I'm going to be snobby golf betting guy here for a moment. I just looked right through the top, Andy. I looked
Even
right through
Xander
all
can't
three of them.
lay because I could make strong
No,
arguments
I
for
know
the
the case is
disgusting
there. I
brothers.
know the case is
Yeah.
there, but I don't know. I'll just, you know, I'm, I, what I'm trying to say is the snobby golf guys like you take your 6, you take your 8 times your money. That's like when I give my friends props. We hit some first touchdown bet in football. I don't know. I'm here
Yeah.
to try to. I'm trying. Like spray and hope. Spray and hope is
Right.
my Amex strategy, I think. Spray and hope. But I get it.
Are
I
you
can
not
easily see
worried
why the top
about,
is.
oh, yeah, I was going to ask, are you not worried about a little bit of an overcorrection from the 150 to 1 Kirk, 350
But
to
I don't
1
play that deep.
Grayson?
I don't play
Or,
that deep. I
okay,
just
cool.
mean like it feels like golf betting in general right now with spray and hope.
Right,
Um,
right,
and
right.
you know
And
what? And I should honestly, even when you feel like you know what you're doing, outright golf betting is always a bit of spray and hope. But and I hear your point, but I'm not going that far down the board. I'm just going to try to more like the middle, but I'm skipping the top for you. You have eyed in on Cantley.
I'm skipping the top two. I'm
Okay.
not doing Xander. I'm not doing the disgusting brothers this week either. I'm going right past them. And so I want to talk about the 20s because I haven't made a move yet, but I'm circling it strongly. Sung Jae, Tom Kim, Justin Thomas. Okay. Um, I think there is a move to be made here. I just haven't made it yet. So I'm curious if you have any strong inclinations with those three guys.
My lean would be Tom Kim.
Okay.
Would be Tom Kim, but I like them both. I've been kind of swimming around. I've been kind of swimming around
Sung Jae,
all of them.
even
Sung J as
JT.
well. That one dropped a bit. JT, I totally get. He's
Yeah.
here. He's starting his season. He wasn't at Century.
We've
Makes life.
never
I
had,
feel
by the
like,
way, never had a winner making their season debut at this event in the last 8 years since it's been on this three
yeah.
course
And
rotation.
as
So
reasons, and for, when we bet golf, you're trying to narrow down a card, 3, 4, 5 guys, 6 guys, whatever it is, whatever. You're almost looking for reasons to not bet a guy, and that stat is almost trend is almost strong enough for me to okay. But I believe trying to bet JT early at a big number is probably a play
mhm.
because take the chance that he's ready out of the gates. It could backfire, but I'm one of those that I see myself investing in JT early this season. I don't know that I'd get to it here. For me, it is Tom Kim.
Mhm. Better bet this week, Jeff. JT 25, Burger 50, Zalatoris 100.
JT. I don't even think
Yeah.
it's close. That burger number, it's going to flirt with 80 or 100 before
It
we go off.
it better.
Because it's
Okay,
sort
it's
of
there.
like
It's there.
Zalatoris last week,
It's there.
Andy.
Burger's 80 by now.
Yeah,
So
no one touched it. The books
yeah.
did not take a single cent on Daniel Berger today. So I'm not surprised one bit to see that happen to his number. For me, it's more like right behind those guys. Um, Bet Rivers has an enhanced win only 40 on Minwoo Lee, the 35s
Okay.
on JT Poston, Andy. I know you were on
I'm
him
there.
last week. He
I'm
feels
there.
so safe here. Like,
Yeah.
gun to my head, I had one bullet and you had to say it had to be over like 25 to 1. It's crazy. It
Mhm.
might actually be JT for me. I could see why people love Eric Cole as a course fit or
Sure.
Jason Day. And even, I can name a few more like Chris Kirk, who did everything but putt last week. You think could be perfect here. So I'm more in that sort of range trying to find my winner, Andy. But I have made a couple bets.
Yeah, I bet JT Poston at 35 to 1. I don't feel great about it because he's at the same number as Sam Burns and Tony Finau, two guys that are very, very good at golf, probably within the top 10 best American golfers in the world. But JT he has done everything in terms. I mean, he's fifth and sixth in his first two appearances on this specific type of golf course, right, Jeff? On these high greens and regulation putting contests, JT Poston is every bit as live as any other player that you want to roll out in this field. These types of courses suit his specific skill set very well. So there's one side of me that says it's really hard for me to stomach betting him when he's in a range that I don't think on name value he deserves to be in. But I've been on him. I'll feel way more pain if I hop off at a golf course that is a perfect fit for him. So I'm just going to swallow the 35 on JT and hope for the best. It could be a natural letdown spot. It certainly, there's a part of me that's saying that, but I think about the pain I'll feel on Sunday like the most obvious guy that I've been riding for 2 weeks straight, does it at a course that's perfect for his skill set. You've had that pain before. We've all had that pain before. And so I
The
can't hop
question for
off
me, because you
JT.
do have your guys like JT, not Thomas, or you could be going double barrel JT this week, Andy.
You could.
But you do have your guys like JT, Eric Cole, who really are like perfect course prototypes. But at
Yeah.
the same time, you feel like maybe you can buy that type of player at like double the number, like a
Right.
great putter who's an ideal course fit, be it say, Adam Hadwin, like 65 to 1. Maybe that's like a bit of a stretch, but and maybe like a real poor man's version of some of these players in like 100 to 1. Like, I know we're skipping, but like I'm looking at a guy like Justin Suh, 120 to 1. And when I do that, I'm like, well, he's like the
Yeah.
poorest man's version of that like 35 to 1 player that is very
Yeah. I
popular.
mean,
Yeah.
Ricky Fowler's
Yeah,
65 to
that
1.
guy we haven't spoken about. Exactly.
And Ricky Fowler's been amazing at this golf course.
Yeah, a
Not
little
amazing, good,
California
very
guy.
good.
He
Yeah.
he it should work well for Ricky. I know we're kind of all over the map. It doesn't take much from me, Andy. Like I only need to see the smallest form of sign of life to be back in on Taylor Montgomery.
Oh, man, you do it to yourself. Led the field in approach last week. I can't. I can't with that guy. But Godspeed, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm off in different directions.
But
But yeah,
honestly, maybe
led the field in approach last week.
the best value out there could be the numbers we are seeing on a player like a Wyndham Clark or a Tony Finau. Any interest in
Now we're
something like
talking. Now we're talking.
Okay.
Listen, Geoff, we could get to Saturday and it could get leaked that Wyndham Clark is the newest member of Legion XVIXXIXX. But I don't think that he should be 50 to 1, no matter what. And let me just say also, since when is contracted? Because I got a couple questions about this in the Discord this morning. Does the Wyndham to LIV rumors make you sour on Wyndham? And I thought about it for a second, and my answer is no. And I'll ask you the question, Geoff. Since when in team sports, if you think about team sports, since when is contract negotiation like a bad thing? Like we watched Cam Smith negotiate with LIV for 5 months, win the Open Championship, and multiply his asking price by 5x. Like, do I care that Wyndham Clark is playing competitive golf tournaments while he's negotiating with LIV? No, that might be a good thing. Maybe if he wins the Amex, he'll be able to ask for more money. So I know there's been some Wyndham smoke this morning. I don't really care. I think he's a great course
Andy,
fit at a big number. Like, sign me up 50 to 1.
past Amex winners, there's a lot of live golfers. John Rahm, Hudson, the Swaff Daddy. So
there's the US California US Open connection too with the
yeah, no.
Amex.
So I'm not surprised. Wyndham seems like such in an outright game where it seems like it's really hard to get anything we'd even consider fair. The numbers on Wyndham I'd see really fair, as low as 35 on that odds checker grid.
Yeah.
Seen 50s out there as well on the grid. So make sure to use it. Get yourself the biggest number if you want to bet Wyndham Clark or anyone else. We got to give it the time. Long shots, anything
Yeah.
big? I mean, we've been in long shot season here, Andy.
Yeah.
Do you want long shots who are pin stalkers who can't putt, or dudes that just roll it so pure but they're shaky in other parts of the board? Because that's sort of my debate. I like team no putt usually.
Right. Me as well, but this is a golf course where you could probably argue just as easily for the inverse of that. The one guy that I have bet is Alex Smalley at 110 to 1, and he's been
You were on
really
a
really
run
good.
with Smalley, right? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got some scar tissue, but talk
First time
us
this
into
year,
it. Talk
but
us into it. Let's go.
yeah. One of the best ball strikers in the field through Thursday and Friday at the Sony, missed the cut on the number, played the final 3 holes at YLI and 2 over par, which if you were following the Sony, that's dreadful because one of those holes is a super easy par 5. But I love playing guys that hit the ball great last week, but the results may not show it, right? They're coming off a miscut at the number. And now Smalley heads back to a golf course where he gained 8 strokes ball striking last year. He's got a 22nd and a 25th in 2 appearances. He's over 100 to 1. One of the better iron players in this field still. He can score. Just get the putter going, and I think Smalley's live at 110.
Smalley as low as 90 on the odds checker grid, as high as 125
125.
coming
Maybe I'll
in at
try and cash
Caesars.
out and hit that. Yeah, I
At
got
Caesars.
110.
So that's some big numbers. Nick Taylor, Andy,
Yeah.
130 on the odds
Mhm.
checker grid, as low as 80. That's one that I guess they're kind of all over the place, but that 130 coming in at FanDuel, I did, sort of give a shout out to Adam Hadwin.
Sure.
Maybe it is Nick Taylor who actually should be the Canadian of choice this week. A great Sunday charge. Of course, feels like it could suit him quite easily. I know you were big on Tom Hoagie last week. A California 3-course rotation pro-am, 150 to 1, as low as 75 to 1.
And
Wow, I know I'm shouting out
yeah.
the discrepancies, but 150 on FanDuel,
Yeah.
75 over at Bet365. That's why we use the grid here, people, because if you're going to catch a hope and a prayer with Tom Hoagie, you better do it at the biggest number.
Yeah. Easy sell for me on Hoagie. I bet him last week. He missed the cut on the number in very excruciating fashion. Same argument with Hoagie in terms for what we argued for Smalley, right? Elite iron player at a big number. We've seen Hoagie actually finish second at this golf course in the past 2 years ago as well. So Hoagie at 150. I'm gonna probably make that bet as soon as we log off, my friend.
All right. So for me, Andy, Tom Kim, Taylor Montgomery, Nick Taylor players you should certainly expect on my card.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're in on Poston. What else?
Poston, Wyndham, Smalley are the only bets I've made.
Wyndham.
I
Wyndham
am,
and yeah.
yeah, I'm circling the wagons between Sung Jae and Tom. Gotten some, some whispers, some wind blowing that Sung Jae is feeling really good right
He
now.
was outstanding at the
Yeah,
Century. He had a
yeah.
1 over Saturday. If he literally just kicked the can down the road a little, he is
Mm-hmm.
right there with those guys. I don't know how he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that 1 over Saturday. How do I know so much about it? Sounds like a guy who lost a matchup on him on that Saturday. Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Andy's going to make that decision. Check it out. He's going to have written work over at oddschecker.com as
Out
well
right now.
with his top plays this week. For Andy, I'm Geoff Fienberg. We'll be back next week. Where are we?
Torrey,
There it is.
I'll be there.
On the grounds, our boy Andy Lack. Torrey, worried the field might not be what we're
Yeah.
just a weird world where Torrey
Right.
Pines between the ROM stuff and the schedule. I don't
So
know.
it
It's
goes,
scary to
yeah,
think.
you have some good players at the top playing this week, and then it goes Torrey, Pebble, Phoenix. So I could see a lot of people skipping Torrey because you have back-to-back elevated events right after it, which makes no sense.
But we're getting
But
into
here
some
we
big
are.
tournaments. You mentioned
Yeah.
Pebble, you mentioned Phoenix. Riv is coming around the corner
Right.
as
Yeah, I
well.
forgot Rivs in there too.
We've
Yeah.
got you covered here at oddschecker.com. I'll get us out again. Hit that like, smash that like, hit the subscribe. For Andy, I'm Geoff. We're out.